and you knew it could happen to anyone, to be honest, you never really thought it was going to happen to you. And no one does. No one does. When they see these things, they feel sorry for people, but you never think you're next.
Losing your child to a knife attack would be one of the worst circumstances anybody could ever think of. It ruined most people's lives. And Mark Prince went through exactly that. And he talked exactly about how he went through such a tough time and come back. For me, Mark's story is an example of it could be anything. It could be the worst imaginable thing, which this was for him. And it would be for most people. And you can still come back and do good in the world and have success in the world. And that's Mark's story, and it's his son's story, and I'm really excited to share this piece with you guys. This here is an example of no matter what happens, you can still make a change in the world. You can still keep moving forward. That's Mark's story. Today's video was sponsored by Mulliganbrothers.com, the best motivational clothing brand in the world, where you can now get the Rise and Grind t-shirts, the Inspire Change t-shirts, and so much more. 100% of the profits go back into making this content happen, so thank you so much. But before that, let's jump into this incredible story with Mark Prince. I'm your host, Jordan Mulligan. Let's jump into the video.
Everything. Everything. I buried my baby before Cayenne. My mum had a blood clot to her brain a year before my son died. That they said that she might not survive the operation. She had a stroke. One side was gone. My journey in becoming a fighter, turning my life around, all of these, the whole of my journey, bro. I tell you, sometimes we go through things, yeah, and people are gonna be listening to this, and they know they're gonna go through stuff, and they're gonna think, why? But you don't know the future. And the bad stuff we think have come to break us and kill us and stop us. And people mess up and want to commit suicide and end their life, and they don't know the great future that they had if they could only get through the shit that they're going through. And every bit of the shit that I went through helped me. Because even though you can't really prepare for a phone call that says your son's been stabbed, and you can't really prepare for seeing your boy on the cold hospital bed, and he's going cold. He goes from warm to cold. His lips turn from pink to blue. He goes from moving body to a stiff face, and you can't prepare for that, bro. When everything you've done, now that's my investment. I invested in his future. I invested in his life. And to see him laid there quiet and still. I used to talk with my mates back in the day when I was on the roads, yeah? And I used to say to them, we used to just have conversations, bunning, we talking. And I remember one conversation come up about, what, you know, because a lot of my other friends had kids as well, yeah? And we'd say, what would you do if someone troubled your kids, if something happened to one of your kids, if someone violated your kids? Bro, man was swearing to go jail for life, kill the person, and I meant it, bro. I wasn't playing. I wasn't the kind of guy that would make threats and just talk and then do nothing. If I said you were gonna get banged, you were gonna get banged. And I meant every word of it. I would go inside and I'll do my bird with a smile, because you can't take one of my kids. My kids were my world. My children were my world, bro. And bro, to be one of the people that was actually in that situation, your worst nightmare that you would speak about like it would never happen to you, you'd see other people on the telly and it happened to them, but you was never gonna be that person. Even though you'd say, oh gosh, man, I feel for them, and you knew it could happen to anyone, to be honest, you never really thought it was gonna happen to you. And no one does. No one does. When they see these things, they feel sorry for people, but you never think you're next. Never. I was next. I was gonna be the next parent who was gonna be on TV talking about their child that had been stabbed to death. And wow, man, what a world I entered into, because it was plagued with demons, bro. Plagued with demons, ready to take over, and just the demon of anger, bruv, and revenge. He's a strong bastard. Whoa. He will come and take over your life and drain you. The demon of unforgiveness will take over and rinse every bit of love out of you. It will take away your personality, bruv. It will take away your joy. And I was up against these demons, bro, that was trying to take the very essence of my life away from me and my purpose. And by then, obviously, boxing had gone. I'd had an injury to my leg. I'd been out of boxing from 2000, had a really bad injury. They reconstructed my knee, and I was 19 wins and 1 loss. And I was number 1 in the WBO and were rated in the top 10 by other governing bodies. And I was a force to be reckoned with. And then strip, my career was over, and they told me, the consultant said, you got no career. So being in that position, so 6 years into that, I'd been trying to find my place in life again. So it's almost like I'd gone back to square one. I'd built, gone back to square one, and now got stripped in the most horrendous way. I'm supposed to be done out here. I'm supposed to be done out here, bro. No career, no son, bro. I ain't supposed to be sitting here with you, man. I used all that negative energy. I used everything that I had. I cried out to the same creator that made me, that had purpose for my life. I cried out to him. And I said, I give up. I let go, basically. I let go. The things that I was chasing in life, the revenge I wanted for my son, I let it all go. I went like this, bro. I'm done. I'm done. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Show me. I'm here. I'm here, innit? Because my feelings, these emotions of revenge and killing and planning to break his neck in court and all of this stuff, it's not gonna bear no fruit. It's not gonna do nothing for my kids. It's not gonna do nothing for me. It's not gonna, I become like the guy. I was angry with him and what he created and caused, and then I wanted to create and cause the same thing. When the phone rang, when I started getting calls about appearing to do a talk at a school with parents and children, that was baffling. Because why are you contacting me? Where'd you get my number? Where'd you get my contact details? You know, I'm not a speaker. I knock people out. I don't talk with people. Why you? So that made me go, what's going on here? So then I remembered what I said to God and thought, well, suppose there's a connection here somewhere. And remember, I'm not a religious man. I don't really do religion. My thing is staying connected. But I never forget, I was at the back waiting to come out, and I shite myself. I was sweating. My palms, my mouth went dry. Bro, I was out there speaking, and I felt like I was doing this because words were getting stuck in my mouth. But I remembered reading a book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Get that book. I'll tell anyone with anxiety, fear issues, all of that, get the book, Feel the Fear, Do It Anyway, yeah? And I remembered, do it anyway. Don't try to, we try to tackle the fear. We try to get rid of the fear. We try to fight it. Yeah, I'm this, I'm strong, I'm not fearful. And we try to use all these words. No, bruv. Know you're scared. Accept you're scared. But know that there's a power that you want to achieve beyond fear. That fear, you will not allow fear to control, but you will dance with the fear. You'll roll with that fear. You'll say, okay, I'm scared, but whatever the fear and embarrassment fear brings out in me, it's not going to stop me. I'm going to do it still. So I went out there and I done it still. And I can't remember what I even talked about, but I do remember men, dads, mums coming up to me, embracing me, telling me how that impacted them, how it really helped them with what they're going through with their children, home, and just to be able to see what's going on with knife crime and whatnot. So obviously I addressed some of those issues because I was passionate about families, I was passionate about what's going on and how kids are carrying knives, and the kids came up to me and loved it. And these are primary school kids, so I thought, something's happened here. So I began to kind of buy into that maybe this is something that is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I went along this journey and, beyond my expectations, the phone calls kept coming in. And I talked with Tracy about starting a charity. She said, go ahead, go for it. Do what you want to do, what you do. If you feel passionate about it, go for it, Mark. And I did. And while I was doing Put the Knives and Guns Down, which was a London Tonight special with Trevor McDonald, about the knives, and I'd done it with Chris Rogers, he was a journalist. It was a great piece. It was really powerful, and I got to spend time with other parents who had gone through what I'd gone through, and it really opened my eyes, and I began to go to solicitors and try to get them to help me to open up a charity and go through the legal, process to get the charity opened. And everything's a challenge. So everything I've been through had an impact on the challenges that I've faced in life. And because I'd not given up, because I'd been knocked down and got up and come back and won, and because I'd been knocked down in a fight and lost and woke up when the fight was over and all of that, I knew that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to fail. It's okay, because failure ain't that until you give up.
Thank you so much to Mark. I'm going to link the foundation below. And if you've been moved by Mark's story, please go support the foundation. And Mark does a lot of work now within communities where he will go in and he'll work with children around the story and what that means and why it's so crucial to have awareness around knife crime. And he'll also speak to people who are involved in knife crime and gangs, and he'll try and get knives out of their hands as well. And for me, Mark is the perfect example of using something that was such a detrimental and awful situation. It could have made him a bad person. He spoke originally about revenge and wanting to get revenge and those dark thoughts. And he managed to come through the other side with forgiveness. And actually, I'm going to use this for good, and I'm going to help change people's lives and make people's lives better in the name of my son. And it's a story that I really can, I get a lot from it, for me, from Mark. I can really understand where he's coming from, and it means a lot. And I think so many people, bad things happen to us, and bad things happen through life, and it's inevitable that it happens, and we have a decision to make. We can allow it to define us in a negative way, or we can allow it to define us in a positive way, and we can use it for good and for the good of others. It's up to us what we decide to do. And yeah, Mark's story is a huge, huge inspiration to me, and I hope that somebody can find this video and use it in the same way. Thank you so much to Mark. Thank you to Mulliganbrothers.com for sponsoring the video. Have a blessed and productive day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.